Gotta love that new intro to Weather Impact Live. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, and yeah, thanks for stopping by. As always, I would love to hear from you if you're watching in any of our social medias right now. Please comment. Let's talk about the weather, what's happening in your neighborhood, and of course across the country and here on the First Coast. Now, today we're going to talk about, first off, I want to show some weather watcher photos. Images people have sent me here around the First Coast. We're also going to talk about that extended forecast, including a look at the weekend outlook with a lot going on here, and a look across the country where we do have some strong storms developing, and we got some fun videos we'll try to sprinkle in here because, why not? It's just me here today, so let's get right into it. And first off, as I mentioned, these weather watcher photos here on First Coast News. Of course, you can always send us these images using the First Coast News Weather Watchers Facebook page, as well as a Near Me function on the FCN app. Bob, fantastic photographer, sent in this shot right here. Fernandina Beach. That's of the the lighthouse. Goodness, it almost looks like a building, I guess. It's a lifeguard stand. That's what I was looking at. I mixed up that with lighthouse. Oh my goodness, Lifehouse is a good band from the '90s. Falling even more love. Yeah. And anyways, see, this is what happens when it's just me here talking. Take a look downtown Jacksonville. Brenda right here, and great shot of the Main Street Bridge. And it looks like they got the full moon, which was setting here just around sunrise as well off there to the left. Beautiful, beautiful shot there from Brenda. And then you take a look out towards the coast. Ali sent in this one that got some of those cumulus clouds, almost the lifted fog that's been almost dominating the eastern seaboard. We had that weather impact alert here this morning along our east coast just because of that thick fog that's been continuing to be out there. And from Catherine on the other side of the world, this one was that lunar eclipse from the other day here as well. It's actually out of the Philippines. So thank you very much for sending that in too. I always appreciate you guys always sending in these photos and these great images from wherever you are here around the world. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what's happening out here today. And I think I mentioned, if you have any questions specifically, let me know in the comments section down below. But first off, looking at the broader view, we do have some messy weather moving across the East Coast right now. Actually, some pretty decent showers extending from southern areas of Indiana and Illinois over towards Kentucky and Tennessee, extending back towards the Northeast. New York and Boston seeing some showers here today as well. You look at the broader picture, though, it's kind of fueling up all this rainfall. When I look back towards the north into, well, look at Churchill, Yellowknife, -15 to -13. My goodness, that's the current temperatures. Jacksonville's into the mid 70s. Memphis, Dallas, out into the 70s there. But you go north of that, oof, it's cold. And I point this out because all that cold air in the month of March, as the title of the stream goes, is that it's spring. And when we talk about spring weather, we're not just talking about, cherry blossoms and the birds coming out and slightly warmer temperatures. We're often talking about severe weather. And the reason is because you still have winter in its grips across areas towards the north here across Canada, but then down towards the south, you are getting that warmer weather in the changing of the season. So you often get that kind of interaction, the battle line that we call it here in meteorology, that forms up these strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. So here in Jacksonville, today we're getting up to 82 degrees, some dense morning fog, sunny weather, very classic spring-like weather pattern. A southeasterly breeze, so continuing to dominate, so an onshore flow, keeping things out near the beaches. In northeastern Florida, a little bit cooler. Looking ahead, though, into Friday, another 82-degree day. We have a few spotty areas of rainfall in the forecast, mainly along the coast, but some of that could kind of develop a little bit further inland. We can even see that here in our future cast. Let's actually rewind this a little bit. So for Thursday afternoon, you can kind of see into the evening, and then Friday morning, some showers trying to develop south of Lake City. Scrolling this ahead, here's this by Friday afternoon. Lake City I-10 I-10 or I-75 corridor, maybe even a little bit of spotty areas of rain. Then you see that onshore flow even bring in some foggy conditions along the coast with a few light raindrops possible, kind of like what we've been seeing the last few days. Nothing too intense, but it is there. Also, looking ahead into Saturday morning, let's look ahead at Saturday morning, right around, I'm rewinding it, 7, 8 a.m. We got some cloudy skies and maybe even a patchy areas of fog. And that is important because of the upcoming Gate River Run, the largest 15K in the United States here in Jacksonville is going to be taking place. So that is something to look forward to too. And I'll talk more about that and the forecast that goes with it and some big news out of that coming up here in just a few minutes. But yeah, also do want to remind you if you have any questions or anything like that, I would love to hear from you. I got Casper on here saying good morning. He says, "What are your thoughts on the rain potentials through next week and the possible frontal boundary?" Yeah, that thing is going to be stubborn, and I think it's not going to be until probably the latter part of next week that at least here on the first coast we start to see that rain push down a little bit further. And I'll get to that in the extended outlook and the broader view here in just a minute. Thank you very much, Casper, for stopping by. Talking about those rain chances today, though, and we're talking about that front. I'll get to that in a second. This stuff right here is just kind of onshore flow. It's nothing too serious. Those spotty areas of rainfall, but this isn't anything too big. We do need the rain, though, across northeast Florida, southeast Georgia, and really the southeast for that matter. This is an incredible number. If you go back to September 1st, 2025, uh, over 14 inches of a deficit with the rainfall numbers. That's absolutely incredible. Our aquifers, of course, are being impacted. And even if it does rain, that rain is not really soaking into the aquifers, it's just so dry. We need steady precip, and this is going to be this is, and let's say we did get 10 inches tomorrow of heavy rain. We're not, but let's say we did. That's not going to help recover it because only like a 10% of rain actually gets soaked into the ground. The rest of it evaporates or becomes runoff, goes into rivers. So it would take a lot to help us recover from this extreme drought that we've been getting all winter long. So, Casper, thank you very much for your question. This is a look at the extended outlook. So, heading through Friday into Saturday, we still have this onshore flow continuing to dominate high pressure ridge off towards the east. But here comes that front he's talking about. And this is by Sunday, Monday, and a Tuesday. Now, if you're out in the New Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi area, that front probably going to bring some more steady rainfall starting early on in the week. But for us here in Jacksonville on the first coast, it doesn't really look like it's going to settle in until like the mid to latter part of the upcoming week. Probably staying just towards the north and kind of keeping us, in this stubborn weather pattern, but not really getting a lot of rain. More the cloudy skies, southerly winds setting up with it. And with that, even the potential for some coastal fog. It's a really kind of just sticky weather pattern here. And this all comes in with this deep trough off towards the west, what we call a positively tilted trough. There you go, fun little tidbit for you. And we know it's a slow moving front because of the trough. It extends like this. Now let's say we had the trough extending like this and basically a big dip towards the east instead of towards the south and west. That's what we would call a negatively tilted trough. So there's positively tilted trough, and we can even see it better in this image right here. You see how it really extends from the north down towards the southwest there. You see all those areas in red indicating positive vorticity, upward vertical motion. That is a clear indicator of a very slow moving front and less, I guess, explosive tornadic type storms, but there are still going to be some severe weather threats to come with it, just not across the southeast. And we see here Saturday, throughout the day, this trough just continues to extend towards the south and west. Almost got a little cutoff low trying to form out there in Southern California. That's going to help develop this front too and pull it off towards the north and east. And then that's when we start to see the chance for some strong thunderstorms. So even here on our let's scoot this ahead through Thursday. We still got some storms developing along that frontier across Oklahoma and northern Texas. Then you get more of that energy coming in from the south and west across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma. Some stronger storms could be developing out there. There is a slight tornado threat, really some of these kind of battle line type showers where you get a lot of frequent lightning and maybe some hail forming up in there. And then it tries to move off a little bit towards the east, but it loses a lot of its punch as it moves into parts of the northeast here and even down towards the southwest along the Texas coastline. Could even see some stronger storms out of that. But you notice one key thing, even heading into Saturday, is the bulk of this does stay north of Florida and really kind of lines up and stalls out across parts of the deep south there. So, yeah, you got some pretty decent storms are going to be setting up as that kind of blows on through. All right, so let's talk and let's see if we have any other comments here. Thank you very much, Casper, for putting that on there. And also, if you are watching this on any of our social media platforms, I would like to hear from you guys. Let's talk. Let's because it's just me here today, and yeah. Oh, another question, technical question. With the transition of the Enzo from La Nina to an El Nino, what are your thoughts on the subtropical jet stream developing before we get out of the springtime weather pattern? That's a good question. And when the question is basically with a El Nino, the jet there's a lot more wind shear in the tropics. You typically get a stronger subtropical jet. It's just the way the pattern sets up. Stronger subtropical jet often means additional threats of severe weather during the spring months. And typically, especially with right now we're kind of at ENSO neutral, typically when we do get that pattern, we do tend to see an earlier onset of the subtropical jet. So it's a very good question. My thoughts specifically, I honestly haven't looked too deep into some of the long range guidance, but let's say just based on knowledge and meteorology and historical experiences, based on the El Nino setup that we are seeing here pretty soon, I would say we're probably going to be looking at a earlier subtropical jet and thus more profound severe weather during the months of March, April, and into May across the Dixie Alley, for example. Probably going to be some pretty decent severe weather this season. Very good technical question, but I love technical questions. I love ones that make me think about it and go, okay. I don't have the graphic for it right now, but let me think how I can answer it on the spot for you. So I hope that does. All right, so let's talk about I mentioned the severe weather towards our north. Um, and so that's all off towards the west. But we're also seeing kind of this inflow wrapping into these storms across the central United States. And up and down the East Coast, we actually have some pretty decent waves setting up here with rip currents, rough surf, all of that stuff. This has been creating some pretty decent sea fog out across our coastal areas because you get that warmer air rushing over some cooler waters, and it just has been developing and kind of pushing this inland. That's why the last few days we've just been seeing that reduce in visibility here. What is sea fog? Well, basically, like I said, you got cooler waters, you get some warmer, moist air that rolls over it, and that creates that just heavy fog and reduce in visibility. And the big thing about sea fog is a lot of the times when we do get this moving inland, it hugs the coast. For mariners, it may not even be at the beach, but they go about a half mile offshore and you run right into it. When I was in the Navy, I would see this all the time, especially like off of our East Coast this time of year. I would see it off of like the same type of setup, the Kuroshio current off of the coast of Japan and Korea. You would see it there as well when you get that warm water coming in from the south, like the Gulf Stream here, and then you get the cooler air, excuse me, you get that cooler water, but you also get kind of the northern current hugging the coast, excuse me. And then you get that warmer air kind of rushing up against it. And it happens. It happens. And this is what we're seeing out there right now is that sea fog. This time of year, it's not terribly uncommon. But with me rambling on here about meteorology, I'm going to break it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I want to show a video from August because I'm talking about not going in the water. So while I'm talking about rip currents and rough surf, I want to show you a fun video of dog surfing out of Flagler Beach because Yeah. Now remember, this is in August, so this is not what's going on right now. It's foggy out there and everything. But as I'm talking about rip currents, I just wanted to put something up here. And do remember that with this onshore wind, there is that risk of some. I don't think this is Flagler Beach. I think this is somewhere else. But they have a very similar event of like these dogs. Oh my goodness, that one has a lawn chair. Malcolm is our digital director. Malcolm, that dog has a lawn chair. Oh my gosh. You can tell I only kind of skimmed over this video. I'm like, this is a great video to talk about rip currents too. So, yeah. Okay, so right now, this is in August. Very tropical, obviously very warm. Right now, water temperatures are in the 50s. Probably not good weather to take your dog out there surfing. But just to remember, if it is rough surf and you're maybe traveling and you're on spring break or anything like that, maybe probably stay out of the water up and down the east coast of Florida here this upcoming week, just because it's going to be nothing like what you see right here. This is from August and so much nicer and calmer weather. And I agree with that guy. That does look like it's very relaxing and he's having a fantastic time. So yeah, that's the video I found to talk about this here with you. All right, let's talk about running now. Let's come back on land here. We have the Gate River Run coming up. Thank you very much, Malcolm, for rolling on that. Fantastic stuff. So we have the Gate River Run coming up here um, on Saturday. This, of course, is the largest 15K. Taking a drink of water. Largest 15K. Not a 5, not a 10, not a 15, but not a half marathon or a marathon, which would be 21 or 42. Right there in the middle. I think the perfect distance for those who are not really professional runners, but you really want to challenge yourself. And this starts here in downtown Jacksonville, runs around San Marco. You go over the Hart Bridge, you go over the Main Street Bridge. It's all over the place. Uh, let's first talk about the weather. Since there has been that easterly flow, the risk of some morning fog is possible. But what I think is going to be, it's not going to be really foggy. There'll probably be some low kind of cumulus clouds, like we've seen out there at the beach here with that image I showed earlier. So you might see some low kind of cumulus clouds floating on by. But the bigger thing is the temperatures will be in the 60s, warming up into the mid 70s by the end of the race. So it starts at 7 a.m. I think it's 7:30. Let me double check that. But you want to get there probably around 6 if you want a parking spot. And the parking is going to be just rough this year. So just remember that. Maybe you might be best taking an Uber and getting downtown early, because it has moved since the Everbank Stadium, the stadium of the future, is undergoing renovations. The parking lot all around it is also just completely unusable. Some parking garages near downtown, like right next to ViStar, that is open. But for the most part, you want to get down there early. Weather is going to be looking good for a little run. I would just make sure you drink plenty of water the day before. And also during the race, there's going to be a running station every single mile. And on top of that, there is a lot of people just on the side of the road handing things out, snacks and all that. There's a lot of people handing out adult beverages too. I just want to remind you, maybe take it easy at first if you plan on doing that. So the start and finish line of the Gate River Run has moved as well. It has moved to basically right across the street from First Coast News here. You got Hawkins Creek right there and the shipyard. So this is, if you know where the USS Orlick is now, that's where the starting line is really going to be, or the firehouse right there in the Orlick. That's where the starting line. The finish line is actually going to be right in front of Intuition, right across the street from First Coast News. Hey, watch out for our geese that have been attacking us. I hear Malcolm laughing, but I'm serious. Those geese are wild, and I'm a little worried when people are sprinting by. They're going to run into these geese. But there's like 30,000 people out here. We'll see what happens. But the weather is looking good for it. Just remember, it's over there. Get there early because there is going to be kind of rough parking to be found. I'll tell you that right now. And there's 4 waves here. 1, 2, 3. I believe I am in wave 3 because I like to say I'm a recreational runner. I try to run every single day, but I am not fast. I do not have that body. So I'm in wave three. Let the elite people go there and wave run. The people, the ones that kind of take off and they just move along pretty quickly here. But just to remember that the race is moved. It is not this year at Everbank Stadium because that is undergoing some pretty decent renovations right now. So yeah, let's I'm gonna see if there's any other questions here on our Facebook page really quick. Actually, I do. I see we got a couple more comments here. Jessica says, will there be any big rain systems moving through during spring break, the 16th to the 20th for us? And yeah, that's what I'll get to here in the extended forecast. I'm glad I read that because by the end of next week, there is the potential of something developing. So we're talking about next Thursday, Friday into Saturday. And you see here with our extended forecast, there's chances of rainfall mainly towards the north and inland throughout the upcoming week, but not a lot. And we can kind of see where the onshore flow really is set up to here because out at the beaches, if you are coming for spring break, just remember as long as that wind's coming onshore this time of year, it does keep the temperatures down at the beaches, usually about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than it is for a lot of inland areas. For example, Jacksonville getting up into the mid 80s, while you look ahead into the beach, it's about 75 to 76. Now, looking ahead 2 weeks, so you said the 16th to the 20th, is there a chance of a big weather system moving through? There probably this time in mid-March, climatologically speaking, you'll probably get one, at least one, that moves through every 4 to 5 days. We have been in this stubborn weather pattern with the high pressure ridge sitting off towards the east. As long as that sits there, you might be okay. You just have to deal with an onshore breeze, but I wouldn't worry about any large systems that is really going to ruin your spring break. If we get anything that does come through, it would probably last a couple of hours. Then that would be the end of it and it would move on. But right now, I don't see any big systems. Just looking out in the extended outlook, everything seems pretty kind of stubborn in this pattern at this point. We have a little system moving through late week next Thursday and the Friday. That would be the 12th into the 13th. But you're asking about the, about 2 weeks out. I don't see anything, at least at this point. Very good question there, Jessica. I hope that answers that for you. Got a comment. Speaking of geese, a video of a college student here in Tallahassee got chased this week. It chased her all the way across the field. Yeah, those geese, they get cranky. They get messy. In fact, our meteorologist Ross Muma has a security video. I'll see if maybe in Weather Impact Live at 4:30, if we can get that video in there. He's got a security video of him getting chased by the one out here. Speaking of getting chased around, you know what also is happening by the end of next week, next Thursday and the Friday? The Players is starting. Now, I don't have any video of the Players because I'm not a sports person, but I do have this video from a golf tournament a couple years ago. And this is something, I don't know if you have to worry about this at TPC Sawgrass. Do you think, Malcolm, you have to worry about this? I feel like they take care of the gators if one rolls up into one of the ponds out there. Yeah, yeah, you never know. Malcolm says you never know what Florida. I like the guy. He's getting real close. He's like, yeah, yep, yep. Hey, uh, Happy Gilmore rules. Play it where it lies, I guess. So this. He's walking like I could see he's walking straight towards the green on the other side of the of the course there. Oh my goodness. About how much time do we have left here, Malcolm? I think we're coming up on the end of the show here soon, aren't we? Okay, Malcolm says we have about 3 minutes. So yeah, like for Friday at Sawgrass, I am a little bit worried about the chance of rain out there. I'll tell you that looking ahead into next week. That is something we're going to want to watch out for. Hopefully this doesn't happen there. Anyways, a real quick look at the tropics. We got 3 minutes left in this one. I do want to mention something really quick. If we're talking about the tropics, We still have 88 days left until June 1st. Of course, once that does come around, Talking Tropics is going to be one of the big things, part of here at Weather Impact Live, where we'll always give you a deep, in depth glance of what's happening there across the tropical, not only in the Atlantic, but even around the world. Today, by the way, I do want to mention this. Today's March 5th. March 6th, 1908. Isn't this is mind-blowing. We had the only tropical cyclone on record in the months of March take place on this date. Pretty incredible. Now, this was before satellite imagery, and I'm sure if it happened today, they would probably argue if it was subtropical or extratropical. But at the time, reported via ship observations, people said, yeah, there's a cyclone out here. The estimated winds, probably using the Beaufort scale, 75 to 80 miles per hour, and it moved over the eastern Caribbean there. Some of the Virgin Islands got actually impacted by this. Cyclone 1, this was even before the storms were named. Very unusual early tropical system. Typically, this time of year, we're talking about them, and you can actually see a couple spitting up out here currently in northern Australia. This is their cyclone season. Good news, they're all off towards the north, so not impacting, I guess, the Australian Grand Prix, which is also taking place in Melbourne. Australia here. And I believe Melbourne's in Victoria, right? Victoria, or is it South Wales? No, I think it's Victoria. Anyways, I'm sure I'll get at least one Aussie that'll comment on here and say, get your stuff correct here. Anyways, 1 minute left, and I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I thought it was interesting and a little climatological looking back at 1908. Thank you very much for a couple of the questions we got here from Jessica and Casper. Really been posting on here a lot. I truly appreciate you guys very much. And yeah, thanks for always stopping by. We got another Weather Impact Live coming up here at 4:30 p.m. Then, of course, First Coast News Plus continuing the stream all evening here on 5, 6, 7, and 11, and just always. We're always streaming. That's the whole point, right? So you can get your news all the time. This edition of Weather Impact Live, we usually stray all over the world, but I find that interesting and fun, and it gives you a little kind of observation what's happening elsewhere. As always, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.